Okay, Millie. So we just finished up the Manchester United versus Burnley game in the
Yep.
Premier League today.
Facts. Yeah.
It was a 3-2 win for United,
Yeah.
so can't be mad about a win, of course.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
you tweeted a win is a win.
A win is a win. A
So
win is a win.
a win is a win. Obviously, we have notes.
We have notes. But we're gonna start.
But what were you gonna say?
Just that. No, you go
Oh, okay,
ahead.
okay, okay. I was gonna say speedy recovery to Cunha. I know,
Yeah. Yeah. Cunha. Obviously, hate to
start off
see
with
that.
that.
I can relate to that. The hamstring pull is one of the worst injuries that you can get as a footy player. It's just so not only so painful in the moment, but takes a while to get your confidence back as well, like running and stuff, like getting back up to full speed. So definitely wishing him a speedy recovery and hoping that we'll see him again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And who are our three goal scorers today?
Well, we didn't have three goal scorers. We had two. There was one of their goals was an own goal. It was like that one that hit off the
Oh,
crossbar and hit off that guy's back and then bounced in.
right, right.
But
Okay, two goal
yeah,
scorers.
but we had Membo get his first goal. Brian got his first goal today, which was huge. He got his first Premier League goal for United,
Super
so
exciting.
great to see him up and running in the Premier League. He also scored midweek as well. So,
Mhm.
so yeah, great to see him scoring goals again. And yeah, he was one of the standout performers of today's game as well. So,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely. And then
yeah,
Bruno with the pen
yes,
was the
yeah, and then
other.
Bruno scored the pen in the 90 plus minute to squeak us across the line. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, so we had our three goals. One
Mhm.
was not scored by us
Yeah, but it
or
counted.
by
It counted.
United. Um, so yeah, I mean, I guess should we get into any other positive notes that you might have from the game before we get
Yeah.
into our other notes?
Yeah. Well, yeah, positives from the game. Always good to win. Always good to win at home. Finally starting off the Premier League campaign now. Finally, first three, or I guess, first 3 points on the board, first win of the season. So a really important game for probably confidence and, things of that nature. So yeah, I think for the positives, yeah, Brian and Membo, unbelievable standout. Great player. He'll be fantastic. Another positive is that Kobe Mainu got minutes, one of the best midfielders in the world, struggling
Mm-hmm.
to get minutes, but that's another story.
I
At least
know.
he got in and got to show what he can do, which is really important. And he was great when he came on. And then Bruno Fernandez had a phenomenal game. I mean, at the end of the day, he creates a ton of chances, even with his handcuffs on, playing so deep. But as soon as he was allowed to play higher up on the field, once Kobe Manu was on the field, that obviously released Bruno to
Right.
try and be his creative self. And as soon as he was released and allowed to be higher up the field, we saw Bruno be more dangerous and create more opportunities for the squad. So just some nice, obvious tweaks that were made and created more opportunities from it. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, some people will probably be like, oh, early in the game, United just started off really well, could have scored a lot of opportunities, but we'll get into, well, I guess that's probably a good
Good
segue.
segue.
Yeah, it's a good, I guess, like the opportunities that United are creating, we're not creating like clear cut opportunities. I mean, again, Brian Wembo's quality is unbelievable. He's a fantastic player. But if we think we're going to get to the top half of the Premier League by launching the ball long, sending him on an island by himself and expecting him to have a moment of brilliance and score every time, we're not gonna get very far in the league. It's not a good enough build up. It's not a good enough. There's not enough connectivity within our attacking players.
Mm.
All of those chances he had with the shot that went wide and the shot that was saved, he was by himself in both of those opportunities.
Yeah.
So his only options were to go to goal. He had no support, no one to pass to, nothing. He had to try and score himself. Which again, yes, we want to be putting our attacking players in positions like that. But that can't be the only way we attack.
Yeah.
It can't be the only way. I mean, just the amount in the first half, the game was just so scrappy. We're just launching the ball every transitional moment. And even Brian's goal that he scored, right? It's like we it was scrappy in the midfield. The ball's bouncing around. We just kick it forward, right? Someone just boots it long. It's a bouncing ball. Dallo gets physical with the guy. Thankfully and luckily, Dallo won the ball and was able to take another touch and cross the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no build-up involved in that. There was no style of play involved in that. It was just another long, hopeful ball, and it worked out in our favor. But I'm saying, like, that is not a style of play. That will not win us the Premier League, not in my
Right.
lifeline. That will not get us to first or second or third. That's not going to be fighting for positions, right? Not when we're playing against a relegation side in Burnley, who's newly promoted to the Premier League. And they're able to tie the game up twice.
I know.
And then they have a suspect offsides to pull back their third goal, which I'm no VAR. I mean, we can get into the refs and VAR in another day, as we always say. But when we looked at what the little image they flashed to us in the little 2 seconds that they wanted to show us, those two players were perfectly even. So again, we're getting saved by lucky calls, lucky bounces, lucky penalties because Ahmad is diving now. It's just like, we need to be winning games outright, right? Like, I don't want to see United scraping by, needing lucky calls, lucky bounces to win games.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, yes, you need luck on your side sometimes, but sometimes United should win a game and look like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Win a game outright. Win a game by playing a team off the park, by maintaining possession, breaking them down, getting the ball wide, having service, having good shots on target, right? That's how, like, that is what we need. We need a 90-minute performance. It's okay in spells. But Burnley shouldn't be taking us to 2-2 to the 95th minute before we get a lucky penalty call to get us across the line. It's just not good enough. It's not good enough at all. Like, the formation, the setup. I mean, why did we even spend $70-something million on a striker if the guy can't even get on the field? Šeško, we just bought Šeško.
Okay.
We've sent Højlund over to Italy, right? And now all of a sudden we don't want to play with a forward.
Right.
I don't get that.
Makes no
it just
sense.
doesn't. It just literally does not make sense.
Yeah.
You've got the big guy. If you want to hoof the ball up the field and just ping the ball forward, which is Ruben's style of play, then maybe put on a big target up top to try and bring some of those balls down so we can actually connect the rest of the team into the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there has to be more of that. I mean, it's just too isolating. I mean, Cunha's injury is kind of like a testament to that, right? Because how much running are we asking these guys to do? Just sprint, because we're just going to kick the ball forward and you just got to run. So it's just like the run Cunha was making in the moment when he pulled his hamstring, he has no business making that run there. But it's because, once again, we're trying to bypass the midfield, not even connect 2 or 3 passes before we just ping the ball long and hope that one of our forwards has an individual moment of brilliance.
Right.
And it's just not good enough.
No.
So that's the segue of that. Yeah, those are my complaints. So,
well, I guess, Millie, that kind of touches on something else you were saying about players kind of shooting from the top of the 18 versus having a forward up kind of closer to the goal where you're actually connecting passes and creating plays that... Yeah,
it's just like a lot of the opportunities that are being created are very low percentage finishes, right? Like Membo taking a ball off in the air, taking it down and shooting first time from out. Like, yes, it's showing his individual brilliance, but it is a very low percentage finish, right? When we're getting these balls top of the 18, 25, 30 yards out, and we're just hitting shots from there, it's like, we could score from those distances, but they're low percentage finishes. What we need is a little bit more creativity in and around the 18-yard box. And that would come if our attack was more connected. So instead of just pinging the ball long and letting people, or pinging it wide and then, letting Dallo try and do whatever. There has to be a little bit more where, okay, let's say our center backs start with the ball. Which midfielder are we looking for first? Do we even look for a midfielder first? Most times, no. Most times, the immediate look is for the ping long ball to the wide wing back. That's what they're looking for. And if that one's not on, then we skip it and just ping it straight to the forwards. But it's just like, that isn't a style of play. It's just long balls. We're just
Mm-hmm.
driving balls to different points of the field and hoping that things will work out for us. But what about patterns of play in the midfield? Can we play into Bruno's feet? Can Bruno lay it off to Casemiro? Can Casemiro then play it wide to Dallo? Can Dallo then maybe take a cut inside on his right foot and swing it back into Bruno? Can Bruno then turn and slip Ahmad through in a pass? Can Ahmad then cut his pass back to the top of the penalty spot where Xerxes passes it in the goal? That is an intricate footballing goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want. You want players combining, and breaking teams down with football, not just hitting the ball over the top. Like you see it in instances like in the counterattack when the other team is out of position. Then we saw that one play where we had, who was it? Ahmad won the ball, played into Membo played into Zerk played back or whatever, however it worked out. Really, and then Membo played like the kind of bouncy pass to Ahmad, which Ahmad then missed, right? So it's just like, that was a good instance of actual football. We were playing the ball through the lines, cutting through their defense with actual precise passing. That was a phenomenal play. But how did we do it? The other team had to be caught out in order for us to do that. But it shouldn't be like that every time. We should also still be able to string plays of good football together, even when the other team isn't caught out in a transitional moment. There has to be moments where United purposefully and intentfully actually play good football and play through another team. I mean, it's Burnley, right? We had someone in Hannibal who gets cut from United, sold to a different team, gets relegated from the Premier League, gets relegated and then re-promoted to the Premier League, and he's going toe-to-toe in the midfield with our guys. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense. And I loved Hannibal when he was with United, right?
He almost scored today.
Literally should have scored. But it's just like, that is my point. It's just like, we have players who have been deemed not, but they look like good footballers against United. Mm-hmm. How is that the case? How are there so many instances where Burnley is creating clear and open chances out of pure football? They played through us many a times, had a few occasions where their midfielder was able to cut through both Bruno and Casemiro and play passes through it to wide areas. We're still having issues with our wing backs in Dallo, who's playing out of position on the left side, unable to get to his defender to block the cross. So then we've got open crosses, Luke Shaw not checking his shoulders, not aware of what's around him. And there's a player waiting in between him and Euro who has a tap in. That was a great footballing goal from Burnley. And I'm thinking to myself, dang, we didn't have a single opportunity where we created a pure footballing play like that when the other team was in their defensive shape. United was in our defensive shape and they were able to play through us. So I'm like, okay, if Burnley can do that, we've got Chelsea and Man City next. If Burnley and Hannibal can play through our midfield, make it tough for us to play, can equalize 2 goals against us, it doesn't give me much confidence for bigger games with better competition. I mean, Chelsea has Caicedo, one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, one of the best tacklers in the Premier League. How is our midfield going to deal with that? I worry about that. We struggled with Hannibal today. No offense to him, but he plays for Burnley. And United has to have a certain standard where there are teams that we just push aside. But it's just like, for whatever reason, we just don't even seem to have that like confidence that we'll just beat a team outright. We'll just clear them. Like it never really feels like that. There are moments in the first half, where we're like, all right, this is some momentum, but
not like
and I don't want like to get into the habit of, because you see the rhetoric online, oh, he coached a win. No, he didn't. Like, that is the thing. We've got to stop giving credit where credit is not due. Manchester United is not where they need to be. We're not playing the football we need to be playing. Yes, we scrapped a win today, but it is not good enough. It has to be better. It has to be better. And I hope today was a confidence builder for a few people. And let's hope it was a confidence builder for Ruben, because now I guess he's played to the media that he's emotional and reacts like this. Sometimes he hates the players. Personally, if my college coach ever said to our team that he hated, like, it's just like, that is not a winning mentality. So it's just kind of baffling that the gaffer is saying stuff like that and also producing results like this. I can't even imagine what he had to say after the match. But let me say something. Giving up 2 goals in relying on a 94th minute penalty against a team that just was promoted to the Premier League and we know is going to get relegated is not good enough.
Yeah.
It's just not. And it really makes me worry about those bigger games. Yes, it was a slight improvement on Grimsby Town, but shouldn't it have been? We lost to a 4th division team last week. So from that to this, okay, sure, I'll take the win. I'll take the 3 points. They are massively important. But as far as a progression in terms of the way we play, the style in which United plays, the finishing in which United plays, the patterns of play that we would expect to see from a coach who's been in charge for 9 months, they're just not evident. It's not evident.
No.
And that is a massive problem for the club going forward, that we still don't have an identity of Manchester United. We still don't know what to expect when every game starts.
Right.
So where has the improvement been? That is the question.
Yeah.
But yes, we will take the win. But overall, not a great performance. It should never be left. I mean, again, against Burnley.
I know.
Not even a rival, nothing. 2-2 into the 93rd minute against Burnley. And thank God Ahmad dove. I mean, it's sad, but if that's what we have to depend on, it's going to be a long season.
Yeah.
So the positives we can take away.
Yes.
Brian Mbembo.
Amazing.
He is fantastic. He will score goals for United. He needs more support.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot continue to leave him on an island by himself after pinging the ball 70 yards up the field. He will be most effective when he has other players around him who can support him, who can make runs off of defenders and pull defenders away from him to give him more time and space on the ball. And then he'll shine better.
Mm-hmm.
But he needs that around him. So here are the ways we can do that. We can bring Bruno Fernandes higher up the field like he was later in the game. That helped. How would we do that? Start Kobe Mainoo. Duh.
Mm-hmm.
Very obvious. Like, yes, we can talk about work rates of certain players, but we need more than just work rate, right? Like, work rate isn't going to play the precise pass. Work rate isn't gonna get us across the line when it really, like, yes, every player should be working hard. That should be a set standard. So starting a player and playing a player just because they work hard, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
When we have like truly talented people who can change a game on a dime and make a difference in the game, those are the players we need to be relying on. Those are the players that we need to be giving the tools to shine to their brightest capacity. That means Bruno Fernandes, we've got to take the muzzle off of him. We've got to put him closer to Brian, put him closer to Mbembo, and then we will see those two combining more. And I promise you they'll have goals and assists flying between the two of them. But right now, if Bruno is just the one hitting the ball up, I mean, it's just not enough. It's just not enough of a style of play. There needs to be more intricacies. There needs to be more combinations. There needs to be more movement in and around the box. Like, that's what we need to see. You know, if, you know, Xerxes or Seko or Cunha or whoever it is, Mbembo, if they're the ones that we want crashing the goalkeeper for the tap-in, and then the pullback pass, that's to Bruno or Mainoo.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the pullback tap-ins like Mbembo scored today. It was fantastic, right? But again, how was that created? Just a pinged ball that we got a lucky bounce off of. No football involved. We need to play football because against teams like Chelsea, City, Arsenal, Tottenham this year, they are going to be prepared for long balls. That's not going to be able to beat those types of teams because they have defenders that are also world-class the same way our attackers are world-class, you know? But when you put Mbembo up against Van Dijk and you ping him a ball over the top, it's going to be more difficult for Mbembo to individually create that moment because he's going to be against better defenders, against better teams. So we escaped Burnley, which is sad to say. We escaped Burnley today at home in front of the Old Trafford fans. But things have to continue to get better. The style of play, we need to see a style of play. We need to see the identity. We need to see what Ruben has been working on for 10 months. And then maybe once we get that, it'll be a little bit more convincing. But right now, it's not convincing at all.
Yeah.
So that's probably the last thing I have to say.
Yeah,
So.
well, I think you answered all my questions.
Did I? Sorry, I went on a tangent.
No, that's perfect. Because the last thing I was going to ask is what would have to change going forward, and you touched on that. So It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. So I think, there are positive signs there, but again, the next few games are going to be exponentially more difficult. So United has to be ready for that. And today did not look like we are ready for those more intense games. I'll take the win. We'll take the win against Burnley at home. But for the games coming up, I hope there's another level we can tap into.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
100%.
I really hope so.
Yeah. Well, we shall see.
We shall
when
see.
do they play next?
Probably next weekend. Yeah,
Okay.
we're
No
just
midweek
one
because we're
game
not-
a week.
yeah.
Yep, that's what happens when you finish 15th. You do not get European football, and
Got knocked out
that's
of
all
the
she
Carabao
wrote.
Cup.
Yeah, and we're out of the Carabao Cup now, so we just have to wait for the FA Cup to start, and then FA Cup and Premier League is all we got, baby.
Alrighty. So
much less games to cover this year.
Yeah, dang. Okay,
So
so we will see you next week.
Yeah, next week.
With
See how they look.
Manchester United pregame, depending on when the game is.
Yeah, we'll see. Depending on our schedule.
Yeah, depending on our schedule. And then post-game recap again.
Yeah.
Just to see how the team does.
Yeah.
So thanks, Millie, for your thoughts.
Thank you. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. See you next time.
See you next time.